everyone, welcome to the third SpearCenter of the fall 2022 semester. I am your host, Carlos Reyes.
And I'm Gerardo Gonzalez.
Let's head over to the gridiron where the Spartans thrashed UNLV at home 40-7. Here's our football beat reporter, Matt Weiner, with the recap.
Chevin Cordero led the Spartans to a dominant 40-7 victory with an electric 4-touchdown performance on 230 yards passing and a season-high 109 on the ground. San Jose State took control at the start of the second quarter after Cordero recorded back-to-back rushing touchdowns in the span of 1 minute and 4 seconds. His first came on a 9-yard quarterback keeper that put the Spartans up 14-0. 3 plays later, after UNLV fumbled the snap, Cordero scrambled his way to a 15-yard score, extending the Spartans' lead 20-0. Dominic Mazzotti grabbed a career-high 7 catches for 100 yards, which included a 22-yard touchdown that propelled the Spartans' lead 33-0. Rebel starting quarterback Doug Brumfield left early with an injury after starting the game 1 for 6 for 8 yards passing. In the first half, UNLV was held scoreless and outgained by SJSU 249-116. The Rebels, who came to San Jose State with a Mountain West best 37.8 points per game and its second best total offensive yards per game with 423, were held to a mere 7 points and 213 all-purpose yards by San Jose State's lockdown defense. Defensive lineman Cade Hall, Junior Fajoko, and safety Trey Jenkins each had a sack. The Spartans have given up 17 or fewer points in 4 out of their 5 games this season and are 9th in the nation in points allowed, with just 14. They now head to Fresno State as they hope to continue their dominance of the Mountain West and vindicate a lackluster performance against the Bulldogs in 2021.
Thanks, Matt. Be sure to follow Matt on Twitter at MattWeiner20 for all things San Jose State football.
For further analysis of the football season, here's Nathan Canilau and Aikman Fang.
Hello, sports fans. On Friday, the San Jose State Spartans trounced the UNLV Rebels 40-7 at SEFCU Stadium. I'm joined here with my colleagues Aikman Fang and beat reporter Matt Weiner. Guys, what did you think about the game on Friday and the San Jose State taking first place in the Mountain West?
It was an evident win of how much potential this team has, given how the San Jose State Spartans have the lead in the West Division in the Mountain West Conference.
Matt, what did you think?
It's a lot of dog. It's a lot of dog. That's the only way I could put it. It's like Clifford the big red dog. Like before that was like a Great Dane. Now we have Clifford out on the scene.
I did want to ask about one of the early plays. Kyle Harmon hits Doug Broomfield, and he was from that point on out of the game. What effect did that have on UNLV, and how much momentum did that give the Spartans?
Do you want to take that away?
I mean, it had a lot of momentum. It had a lot of. I think it propelled the defense. The defense had its work cut out early in the season, given how almost every game we were down in time of possession. And the defense pretty much was gassed by the third or fourth quarter. And with UNLV's quarterback going out, the defense had a much easier night. On Friday night, they didn't have to carry the game. The offense helped, especially with that first drive being a 12-play drive. But guys like Kyle Harmon, Jordan Pollard, they only had 7 tackles, and that shows you how much little work the defense had to do on Friday night. And I think it shows how much experience this defense has, especially going against a backup quarterback like they did against UNLV.
Matt, what does this mean, or this win mean for the rest of the year? I mean, they're now, 4-1. They have a little softer schedule going up for the next 4 weeks. What does this win mean for San Jose State?
Well, I mean, that's the crazy part is that this is a pretty soft schedule. Let's be honest. There's a bunch of 1-win teams. So now the way you're looking is like, okay, this is going to be easy. We're just going to cruise down. Like we're going to ride off to the sunset, Mountain West Conference title, and then we're going to go play on New Year's Day. That's the scary part. Is looking all the way ahead to January 1st and all the crazy possibilities. That's the hard part, is now reining it back in. Now we have Fresno. and then it's just week by week basis. I think that's the crazy part about this. If you just take it week by week and prepare the same way you prepared, you're literally playing on New Year's Day.
Aikman, Chevin Cordero had just a phenomenal game. I mean, he was all over the field. He was making plays with his feet through the air. Is he a front runner for Mountain West Player of the Year?
Definitely. I think especially against UNLV, he showed his ability to make the right decisions. He was 18 of 27. He only threw for 200 yards, but that's also because he had over 100 yards on the ground. Anytime the receivers weren't open, he would run out the pocket and gain some yards through the ground and get the first down with his legs. I think undoubtedly he is the front runner, and the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year is his award to lose.
Matt, a lot of weapons showed out on Friday night. One, Dominic Mazzotti. He kind of came out of nowhere, got his first career touchdown pass in the third quarter. I mean, how good is this San Jose State offense? Not with Chevin, commanding everything, but with Kyrie. Now you add Dom, and then you still have those three Nevada receivers who are still balling out. What's this offense looking like as we get close to the season end?
I think you just said it yourself. Very good. Like we've seen rushing yards go up every single week. But then we've also seen new receivers jump in as far as like targets and catches go, like Sam Olsen led, at one point Charles Ross led, at one point Justin Lockhart led. So there's so many different guys. And I think what you saw is so scary because now there's another threat to worry about. And Mazzotti in his presser afterwards was saying, he was like, yeah, like I wasn't really supposed to get the ball. Like my job was to be able to draw defenders' attention my way, which would then open up things for Lockhart and Cooks, but that was wide open because those guys need one-on-one coverage as well. So he has so much space to work with. And that's the scary part is when you're on a football field and you just see space where it doesn't look just like everybody's hunched together and it's like this awkward little kind of like a rugby scrum. There's so much space on the field now. That's the scary part.
And last thing for you guys, we kind of the San Jose State Spartans went from dark horse contenders, maybe could get 6 wins in here. We're now looking at probably a bowl game and probably, a ticket to the Mountain West Championship. Can you describe what this season has been like, watching them, covering them? What has it been like just watching them progress from Portland State until now?
It's been surreal, especially going back to what Matt just said earlier. This has been a very balanced offensive attack, and we're seeing this offensive line grow. The rushing attack is becoming more potent after every game. And I think one thing that we need to give a spotlight on is how Cordero isn't forcing the ball to any one of his receivers. Every game, it's been a different receiver or tight end with Mazzotti that last game that has led the receiving or aerial attack. And it's really shown how this is a very balanced offense that could be unstoppable when we come by November or December. And we're looking at a squad that could have 8, 9, possibly 10 wins when it's all said and done.
Matt, your thoughts on the season?
You saw it, like you thought that it was gonna happen. Like, I don't know, like it's kind of crazy of like, did I know they were gonna be this good? I don't think so. But I'm kind of in the same camp as a lot of people. That's the crazy part on my end is how they all saw this as coming. Like they treat it like it's not a surprise, but I think to a lot of people it was. That's the best way to put it. To them, not a surprise. To a lot of people, yes, because we have this transfer portal. You don't know how Cooks, you don't know how Lockhart, you don't know how Chev is all gonna mix together. That's what's crazy.
That's our football analysis for the week. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll kick it back to our anchors.
Thanks, guys. Now we go from one football to another. Carlos and I are taking a look at soccer.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's soccer recap. I'm your host, Carlos Reyes, and I'm joined by Men's Beat soccer reporter, Gerardo Gonzalez.
Thanks, Carlos. I'm glad to be here, ready to talk about some soccer.
Yeah. So, Gerardo, I was there. You were there. Men's soccer took on Incarnate Ward this past Saturday. What are some of your key takeaways from the game?
Yeah, I believe that they played a good game. They're undefeated in the last 5 games so far, these past recent 5 games, and they beat them 2-1. They almost got tied at the end. Incarnate Word started pushing forward and pressing after they got that first goal late in the second half. And San Jose State were able to hold on and get the 3 points after basically their last home game before they take on Utah Tech and ULNV on the road basically next week.
Yeah, and those look like very two winnable games, on their road to playoff contention. As far as Saturday's game went, what are some of the main players that you felt shined in the moment?
Yeah, I believe that Bolaru is like the main piece in the midfield. He controls the ball. He knows how to send it through the forwards, and I believe that he won the Offensive Player of the Week for the WAC this past week with basically 2 goals in 1 week, and which makes him now the top goal scorer for the team with 5 goals. Too.
Definitely, and heading into this week, there was a lot of questions in regards to who's going to pick up the mantle and really start guiding this team offensively. And you mentioned Bo, and one of the things that I really admire about him, especially as a midfielder, is he's able to find those tight spaces where he's able to navigate, pass the ball through, and keep his head on a swivel. Yeah. Something that you really look for in a midfielder, especially a team like San Jose State that's been needing that key piece in order to drive the team forward. One of the things that I talked to you about is, this team's versatility and the ability, to play multiple positions regardless of, the opponent they're facing through. One of those players that you mentioned was Joel Garcia.
Yeah, for sure. Joel Garcia is a brilliant defender, but at the same time, he goes and attacks up top. He becomes almost like a third or fourth attacker, and that's really important for the team because he could defend, he could attack really well. And he led halfway through the season, he was leading the team's lead scorer with 4 goals basically, and it's that's really impressive for a defender especially, you know what I mean?
Definitely, it's definitely not something that you see very common in most teams. That does come with its positives and its negatives. There's been a lot of questions in regards to, where's the attacking help going to be coming from, forwards underperforming. It's typically not a good sign when your midfielders and your defenders are the top goal scorers in your team. What do you feel that the forwards need to do in order to really elevate this team to become that much more of a contender come playoff time?
Yeah, I believe that the forwards need to actually just finish the chances that they got. I believe basically finish the chances that they got, and
take advantage of that midfield that's starting to see that increase in production. I definitely agree with you on that point. A whole different story on the women's side of the ball. We've seen San Jose State women's soccer currently struggle in these past couple games that they've been playing. What are some of your key takeaways in terms of the women's side of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, the women's side, they have a record of 3-5-5, and they're 2-2-2 in conference in the WAC. So it's they struggled in the beginning, they found their rhythm at home, and they're struggling again at the end with these recent past 2 games. And it's they need to find that sweet spot and get that rhythm going because, I feel like they might be starting to fall off in the conference if they don't, pick up and get some points, especially at home, when it's very important to get points at home.
Definitely. And, amidst all the negatives that happened recently, coming about for the team, I feel that one of the key players that really has managed to make the best of the opportunities is, Bella Flacchini, sophomore forward. She's really stepped into this role of, taking charge and being able to take advantage of the opportunities that have been given to her. She currently leads the team with most shot attempts with 25 across 13 games. That is all the time we have for today in terms of men's and women's soccer. Thank you, Gerardo, for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Carlos. I appreciate it.
Follow Gerardo on Twitter at GerardoG209 for more San Jose State men's soccer. Now we turn our attention to cross country. San Jose State cross country strung together a handful of brilliant individual performances at the San Francisco State Invitational on October 7th, 2022. Both men and women teams walked away with the 8th spot in the competition as SJSU looked to build off of its performance at the Pacific Invitational the week prior. Simon Fraser University took the spotlight with the commanding win after the 5 of their runners placed in the top 5. Sophomore Charlie Dannett was the top finisher for the men's 8K with a time of 24:42. Sophomore Mar Pina led the charge for the Spartans with a time of 26:23 and the 40th position in the race. His teammates freshman Michael Chadwick and sophomore Christian Moreno each ran career best times in the San Francisco Fog. Chadwick ran a time of 27:12, while Moreno closely followed with a time of 27:13. Freshman Christopher Malone got his first taste at collegiate racing with an impressive time of 26:57 and the 55th spot. Concordia University took first place in the women's competition thanks to some solid running from senior Jory Paradis. Paradis ran away with the 4th spot in the race and a time of 24:21. Senior Juliet Neuer was the lead runner for the Spartans with a time of 22:50 and the 24th spot in the race. freshman Constantino continued to showcase her raw running potential as she finished 29th in the race and ran a personal best time of 23:03. Freshman Nereida Alvarez-Gonzalez also ran a personal best of 23:46, which allowed her to claim the 40th spot in the race. Overall, I am very pleased today with the effort the men and the women went out there, they got on the line, and they were ready to run, said head coach Charmaine Darden on Twitter after the meet. SJSU looks to hit the ground running at the Bronco Invitational next Saturday in Sunnyvale, California. That is a wrap for us here at SpearCenter. Be sure to follow @TheSpear SJSU for all things SJSU sports related. For The Spear, I am Carlos Reyes.
And I'm Gerardo Gonzalez.
Thank you, and go Spartans.